For 7 straight days, the bulls have been in control of AMP's market. Let's take a look at what that all means while adjusting to new data that we have on the charts. Y'all know what time it is. Let's hop right into today's daily analysis. So taking a look at CoinGecko.com, we can see that AMP is currently down 14.4%, which is healthy, right? This is nothing to really panic about because over the last 48 hours, and if we also take a look at this entire week, AMP has gone up way over 50%. So we all know that, pullbacks are healthy for continued growth, and we definitely don't want to go up way too fast. So I think even more notably, right, if we head over to etherscan.com, we can see that we actually did reach the 30K mark in terms of the amount of holders inside of the AMP market. So, this is pretty massive, y'all. Just 2 days ago, we were only at, 28, 29K. Now we're looking to break past 30K, now sitting at 30,416 holders. So, this is pretty impressive in my opinion. But what you all probably been waiting for, let's hop into the charts to take a look at what's going on. So, yesterday we did say that we had some resistance at the 0.78 mark, right? We needed to flip this resistance into support so we could have continued growth. But I mean, if you look at yesterday's candle, it just goes to show that that resistance is actually pretty strong, right? We weren't able to close above that. We actually closed a little below it. We closed at 0.071, which isn't too bad. Again, pullbacks are healthy, especially when things are really, really moving. But looking at today's candlestick, we can see that we are slightly below yesterday's close. And this is, largely contributed to Bitcoin's pullback, right? So Bitcoin ran all the way up from 37K to 40K and is currently pulling back, right? So still nothing to really worry about. And I think the interesting thing about the daily chart for AMP is that we are sitting above the fib 0.618, right? And this is exactly where we want to be. So we know that as long as we continue to hold above this fib level, it's possible that we will go up to retest our previous resistance, which is also above the next fib extension level, right? So as long as we can continue to hold above this, we'll definitely go to retest the next fib extension level and then try to push past this previous resistance. So that's what we have going on with the daily chart. Now let's hop into the 4 hour. And I think the 4 hour is real thing is where things get really interesting, right? So, we all know that we had this bullish pennant and we had the breakout, right? We pushed all the way up to 9 cents. And then we started to consolidate just a little bit. But, this consolidation is actually putting in a huge bull flag. And, for those of you who don't know, bull flags are really signals that let us know that we're going to continue to go up, right? So basically the rule of thumb is the bigger the bull flag, the bigger the move to the upside. And currently right now, this bull flag, it's a pretty decent size in my opinion. I've seen bigger. If we go back in AMP's charts, we can definitely see some bigger bull flags, but we know that our all-time high was 12 cents. So, it's kind of anticipated that this bull flag may push us, close to that level, if not to the 12 cents mark. But again, we all have to watch out to see, what Bitcoin is doing since that is our market leader, right? Now, if this bull flag does continue and we continue to respect this market structure, then it's likely that we may come down to the lower 6 cents level, maybe about the 0.062 or 0.061 before we see a move to the upside. So, we may see something like this come down to the 0.061 and then break above it, form support on that resistance line of the market structure before we go up, break above this fib extension level, which is the fib zero point 0.5, and then go up to retest our previous resistance at the 0.078, and also pushing past the 9 cents mark. where we saw this change in market direction, right? So that's what I think is more than likely possible to happen, purely from a technical perspective, and also, analyzing some of the news that's been coming out and keeping an eye on Bitcoin. So that's what we have for the 4 hour. And last but not least, let's take a look at the 1 hour. The 1 hour is also pretty interesting, right? Because we do have confluence. So the same bull flag that we saw on the 4 hour chart is also playing out on the 1 hour. And this is exactly what we want to see, right? We want to see that confluence, because the more confluence that we get on the different time frames, then the bigger the move to the upside, right? Because we know that right now the market is trending upwards. So, we actually can get a little bit more detail on the 1 hour chart, especially for, entry positions, or if we see, a higher low, right? So right now, we have this low, and then we had a lower high. So if we put in a higher low, above this previous low, then that's an indication that, we may be preparing for a move to break above the resistance line of the market structure, which will lead to a breakout, right? So that's what we have for AMP. And next, let's take a look at Bitcoin to see what's going on there. So, yesterday we all knew that, Bitcoin had a pullback. It had a massive move up to 40K. And, that was kind of expected. We don't want to go up too fast, because, again, if you go up too fast, then it's liable for us to crash. But I think one of the most interesting things about Bitcoin's chart today is that when we did hit this 40K mark, we had to change the direction, but this change of direction is actually putting in a bull flag also, right? So if Bitcoin does continue to respect this bull flag, and we can extend our lines out, if Bitcoin does continue to respect this bull flag, then, again, the intraday timeframes are what we would need to look for an entry, right? So we may come down to our support at the 36K mark, 36.4, right? So we may come down to here again before we break above the resistance of this market structure, and then, continue to push up in that direction. But I also think it's pretty interesting that both AMP and Bitcoin have bull flags on their intraday charts. Intraday meaning, anything below the daily chart. So, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, typically what I trade on. I don't look at the 3 hour or the 8 hour or anything like that. But, I think that this is pretty interesting, right? I don't want to speculate on it too much until we actually understand what that means. But, we can see confluence on the intraday charts for Bitcoin and AMP, both on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. So, that's what we have going on with Bitcoin and AMP, purely from a technical perspective. But before I let you all go today, I just want to highlight that, AMP is also in the news again from the infamous Coin Telegraph, right? So the headline for this is that DeFi tokens book double-digit gains after Bitcoin rallies above 39K. And AMP, notably, is the market leader, right? If you scroll down just a little bit, we can see that it highlights AMP perfectly as the top performer over the last 24 hours. It's been AMP. And it also describes, what AMP is: a digital collateral token protocol that offers instant, verifiable assurances for any kind of value transfer. And I think this is the most important part: for any kind of value transfer, whether if it's crypto to fiat, fiat to crypto, real estate, whatever. I think that folks are finally starting to get, what AMP is used for, and the endless possibilities in terms of the use cases that this collateral token and protocol can be used for. So that's what I have for you all today. Don't forget, if you like this content, to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. If you want to donate to support the channel, I have my Bitcoin and Ethereum address inside of the video description below. And until tomorrow, DTA is out.